Okay. So, as a side note, we found that there's these things. That one we just forgot to cap, but we have the same issue with vacuum lines. I guess they're not vacuum lines, so to speak. And I'm looking for where I'm looking at. Oh, it's got that big one right in the way. But regardless, these lines, this tower right here, they've got little slices on them so that the blower can breathe. I guess. I'm not sure what it is. It has something to do with the vacuum effect of the water on the blower. So, and I know I said I was going to quit for the night since it's getting dark. Bear with me. We're going to have to fix that, and that comes from caps like this right here, over there, and there's a few under there. There's 5 or 6 of them total. So my plan is, I think, just to simplify it, the ones I can cap from the bottom without having to buy 30 caps, if it's 1 or 2, that's fine. That's what I'll do. Otherwise, I will simply, these things screw off, the caps do, these things do, so I will pull these off, silicone, screw it back on. You may have noticed this guy. That's Leonard, our pet turtle. For everybody who hasn't met Leonard, say hi. We put him in here for the night. I figured he'd help get it ready for the fish that are going to be introduced tomorrow. And he's having a blast, actually. For everybody that doesn't know, Leonard lives in a 10-gallon fish tank. He doesn't do much. He kind of just sits there and eats. So he's having a blast right now. We took this log that earlier this year during our bad weather, we had a storm, had quite a few trees cut down, but I tried my hand at chainsaw sculpturing, didn't work. This is a leftover log. We used some Tapcon concrete screws because it was the longest thing I had on hand. I didn't want to look for more. Screwed this piece of chain into it, and then we wired that piece of chain to a cinder block to keep it from floating under our cover there. That'll be Leonard's resort if he chooses to climb on there. He's not going to be living in here full time with the fish. It's kind of like a vacation home for him. He's actually going to be returning to the wild soon. Unless, you know, shit hits the fan, then Leonard might say goodbye to our family and become a soup or a stew. Because I've tried barbecue turtle, it's horrible. In order to keep Leonard in, because I'm skeptical, I know he can't climb these rounded PVC corners of the hot tub, but there are small obstacles that he could get traction on, such as that handle there. I don't know if he can get up on that, get enough grip, maybe grab that control panel, or get on the former filter flotation thing, which I left for fish brooding purposes, because that thing's about 2 feet deep, and I figured Fry would be able to survive nicely in there. So, in order to keep Leonard in, when I bought these totes, they came with lids. So I just screwed these lids around the outside, piece of plywood on the big side, and this used to be the siding of the hot tub. So I use that as support to keep these stiff, and that's just to keep Leonard in. And I realized that I live in a neighborhood filled with feral cats. I've got a crazy cat lady as a neighbor, and he feeds them. I know I said cat lady and him. That's just the term. Don't blame me. So I will be going around the circumference, and I've got this plan of using pallets cut in half as a picket fence similar to I have with my garden, if anybody's seen that. And a tent structure made out of plastic or a tarp kind. Preferably something that I'm going to get for free because I don't like buying shit. And that will also help with the evaporation approach. So my plan is to have the tarp at a peak somewhere in the middle, right? And then I'll slant down, have the fence somewhere in here, and then the tarp edge will flap down here, but it will still have slats down along the sides for fresh air, shit like that. I'm not exactly sure on how ponds work. My first attempt, but I will keep you updated.